What's up, everybody? Celtic Jericho here, back with our video. Get those 10s and 20 view. Holiday is right around the corner, so why not stay in the festive background? But right here, I have 8 ways to make AEW slash ROH better going forward in 2024. I keep seeing different posts from different outlets saying about how there are people not happy in ROH, AEW's losing money, things aren't looking good. So, me being a giant wrestling fan and whatnot, and a big fan of AEW and WWE, I do like both. I even like TNA, so I haven't watched that one in ages. But yeah, I'm just a wrestling fan, so here are 8 ways to make AEW slash ROH better. Number 8. Use ROH in a similar fashion that WWE uses NXT. Let it be its own thing. Let it have its own realistic, creative team. Put guys like Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho, Christian, Edge. These like vets that you have for years. Kenny Omega, because apparently Kenny Omega is out indefinitely. Apparently there's a photo of him in the hospital, basically saying, trying to push off the face on his kid. So yeah, so Kenny's off. So scream, but let them take over booking for Ring of Honor, and trying to do it like in a smart way, because like NXT has a lot of wrestlers who got massively over. FTR being one of them, Tyler Breeze, Bo Dallas. And then for some reason they go up to the main roster and they fall flat on their face because everything about them that they got over in NXT got stripped away. Where if AEW's ROH saying, hey, look how Dalton Castle's being pushed, promoted, ROH, get him in front of people, we can see him. Okay, cool, great. But say if you got someone like, I'm trying to think of someone who's not Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, I guess would be, or Danny Magic and Cool Hand Luke's, like their gimmicks isn't really getting over on AEW. Maybe have them go down to ROH, come up with new gimmick, new strategy, and all this stuff. Then once they're kind of over again, bring them back up. Also, I know there's a lot of people who just like to stay in ROH and put a lot more focus on ROH. Stick with ROH at number 7. Move ROH to YouTube / Rumble. Stop trying to find a TV program for them. These two, the middle two. Yeah, move it to those two things. Pick a round day. Make it like Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Just launch it up on YouTube. I'll explain why I would say that again. And basically just let them show off. YouTube, you can get a lot of people on there. You can do it as a premiere, so everyone's like talking in the chat as it's going up. It would be a great way to get a lot of eyes on Rumble and people to watch it at their own leisure and get to know a lot more of these characters. Yeah, it kind of sucks because they're not on TV, but I definitely think a lot of people, me included, just find the matches online and just watch it that way, where you move it to YouTube, you do in-show ads, in-show commercials, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you get all the ad revenues that YouTube will give you for it. Number 6. Yeah, I said 8 o'clock. I know that's supposed to be when Collision is going live. This is kind of a two-parter. Drop Rampage. Move Collisions to Friday nights around 9 to 11 window. So you still have the same end time, just that. Yeah, you're kind of going head-to-head with SmackDown, which will suck to draw people away, but try not to be like, oh, we are going live against them. No, that's a point farther down. But yeah, I can just say from my personal experience at a AEW show, it's exhausting. Like, by the time you get to Rampage, everybody's dead, they're drained, and whatnot. I had the same issue at the a Ring of Honor show way back when, which like the main event was Jay Briscoe versus Jay White, where they went to a time limit draw. Keith Lee and his tag team partner, the guy he's feuding with now, were against the Viking Raiders. Back then known as War Machine, and they woke everybody up. But yeah, it's just too long to stay that late. And of course, with spoilers, move Collisions to Friday night. This will also allow you to do pay-per-views once again on Saturdays, because I think pay-per-views on Saturdays better. So yes, drop Rampage, move Collision to 2 hours on Friday. The next one, I think the next one, I think a lot of people agree with. Just drop the TBS women's title. There's not the women's roster in every company out there isn't deep enough and doesn't have enough stories to warrant or justify having two singles titles. It's like, I can't tell you which title is more important on AEW at times, if it's the women's champion or the TBS champion. There's no point to two singles women's titles. It does not make sense. But that being said, going to the next point, which I've lost count by now. There's halfway there. At number 4, make a women's tag team title. Yeah, this is something that WWE has done right and wrong at the same time. WWE has Raw and SmackDown women's tag team titles, which I'll make a separate video on things I don't like about WWE. But yeah, I think AEW could easily do a women's tag team division that can span from ROH to AEW, because you do have a good chunk of women, and they are actually in these little pocket groups that can work together for a title. It would just be another way to actually get more women on screen. Tag team is a great way to introduce and show off how good multitude of people are, to help get them over, to help them launch a singles career. Number 3, make factions matter again. It's one of those big things I was really hoping and looking forward to in AEW was faction warfare. It was something that's really big and prevalent in New Japan. And AEW does have a bunch of factions, but a lot of them just don't come off as like scary or dominant. Like the House of Black looks great, puts on great matches, always losing. You got the Dark Order, which is a large group of people who work together. The remnants of the Jericho Society, Jericho Appreciation, whatever they are called. You have that group. You have Britt Baker and her small team. But it's like, the big issue with that is then you have this is a faction. They're going up against these random people that they've been feuding with, and they just seem to lose. You just saw it on WWE with the Judgment Day losing to just 5 random people who kind of did not get along. And same with damage control. Like, if you're a part of a group, you should be a well-oiled machine, should take care of other type things. Also, the great reason why I bring back factions is, say, if MJF had his own little faction and he's feuding with Samoa Joe, well, then you have MJF faction taking on Samoa Joe with MJF on commentary. and then they can keep progressing the storylines while showing off more matches. Number 2, it's kind of the same point I just made, but more matches outside of feuds. Like, the big thing I kind of hate seeing every so often at WWE is if these two guys are in a feud, they are in a match against each other almost every single week. But it's kind of like, well, if I'm feuding with you, why do I need to fight you every week? I can do commentary. I can cut a promo against you after your match is done. You could do what they're doing with MJF and this devil character, where like MJF's in a match, cuts backstage, and the devil's taking out somebody MJF is associated with or wants to be associated with type thing. This will just give you more people on screen versus and kind of keep progressing the storylines forward. And last and not least, number 1, remember you are not the WWE. The WWE has years of product ahead of you. Like, if the early, like mid 2010s, the WWE just came out, they would not have survived. But the fact they had the massive track record that they did allowed them the leeway to stay around and really no real competition. AEW does not have this. They gotta remember they were built off of smaller wrestlers. They were built off of tag team wrestling, and they're built off of trying to not be WWE. They wanted to be the big alternative New Japan, Ring of Honor, PWG hybrid show that people loved and had guys who went to WWE and got over but didn't get booked right show. That was their whole big thing. It's like we always say, could you imagine Ricochet in AEW going up against guys like Pentagon, Ray Phoenix, and whatnot? So AEW trying to do more WWE stuff, I would definitely push away from it. Also, stop referencing them. You're at a point now where you've been around long enough that you don't need to piggyback viewerships off of WWE content. But that's it. That's all I got. That was my 8 different ways to kind of improve AEW going forward. Like I said, I'm just checking. I got an email. They were make ROH like NXT, move ROH to YouTube/Rumble, get rid of Rampage and move Collision to Friday night slot, drop the TBS title, bring women's tag team titles to AEW, make the factions actually matter and care, more matches outside of feud, and remember, you are not the WWE. That was my 8 points. Tell me what you think. If you want me to do more wrestling-like content, let me know. If you think I'm a complete idiot, let me know. If you made it this far, you can hit the subscribe button, and I will see you weird people later.